Hey everyone, so today we're going to be doing a grammar mini lesson on fragments. When I read this paragraph to you, I want you to think about how it makes you feel and what kind of reaction you have to it. Women and kids were in the carts, crouched with mattresses, mirrors, sewing machines, bundles. There was a woman having a kid with a young girl holding a blanket over her and crying, scared sick looking at it. It rained all through the evacuation. Why do you think the paragraph appears the way that it does? Why do you think it makes you feel confused or frustrated or has a mysterious tone to it? It's because it contains a fragment. Scared sick looking at it is a fragment. What if we changed the fragment? Women and kids were in the carts, crouched with mattresses, mirrors, sewing machines, bundles. There was a woman having a kid with a young girl holding a blanket over her and crying. She was scared sick looking at the woman in pain. It rained all through the evacuation. Now that we turned "she was scared sick looking at it" into a complete sentence, the paragraph becomes much more specific and less mysterious. By adding a subject and defining what is making her so scared, the ambiguity of the entire paragraph is eliminated. So fragments versus complete sentences. Why would a writer use a fragment? A complete sentence has a subject and a verb. It should be specific and clear. She was wearing a blue sweater. So the subject of that sentence is she, the verb is wearing, and it's a very clear sentence that there's a girl wearing a blue sweater. A fragment is missing a subject or a verb, wearing a blue sweater. We don't know who is wearing the blue sweater, so the sentence is very unclear and creates a mysterious tone. Using fragments effectively. It is sometimes appropriate to use fragments in your writing if you are stylistically aware of what your fragment is doing in your writing, just as Hemingway intended to use fragments to create suspense and ambiguity in his writing. However, most of the time we want to avoid any ambiguity in writing, so we write in complete sentences describing the subject as well as what's happening to the subject. So if you're writing a creative writing piece like a story or a poem, fragments are sometimes effective and useful. But if you're writing an expository essay for class, I would never use a fragment. Now we're going to review what a sentence or a fragment is and identify the subject, verb, and complete thought. Kelly and Jordan visited the pet shop in the mall. The subject would be Kelly and Jordan. What did they do? They visited the pet shop in the mall. It's a very clear sentence. Two bright-eyed hamsters chewing on a piece of carrot. Subject, two bright-eyed hamsters. And what were they doing? Chewing on a piece of carrot. Complete sentence. Named them two silly names, mustard and custard. Well, we have a verb, named, but we don't know who did the naming. So this is an incomplete thought, which makes it a fragment. Pouches inside each fat cheek. So now we know that there's pouches, so we have a subject, but we don't have a verb, so it's still an incomplete thought and making it a fragment. Now that we've reviewed what fragments are and how they make your writing useful, I want you to review your latest creative writing assignment for homework. Highlight any fragments you may have and consider what these fragments do to your writing. Were you purposely trying to use a fragment? Are you trying to have a mysterious paper? Do you have ambiguity in your story? Do you want the reader to be unsure? Then maybe you did want to use a fragment. How does the fragment alter the tone of your writing? Does it make it more ambiguous? Does it change the reader's thoughts? Do you want to keep the fragment now that you know more about what fragments do? Do you want to keep it? Is that how you want your writing to sound? Or do you want to change it and have a complete thought and make your writing more clear? Remember, using excessive fragments can lead to ambiguity.